Ivan?
Evening all, Ivan Parr, Environment Agency. I work in flood risk management and I'm a senior user on the project.
Richard?
Hi, Richard Woodward. I'm the Environment Manager on the project.
And Charlie?
Hi there, Charlie Overs, Land Agent.
Brilliant, thank you everybody. So
and Zoe?
Oh, sorry, Zoe. Sorry as well, please.
Yes, I'm Zoe. I'm part of the design team, the River Thames Scheme.
Excellent. So our agenda for this presentation is just to run through the latest River Thames Scheme supplementary consultation on the scheme design of the Spelthorne Channel at Ferris Meadow Lake. If you've attended previous virtual RTS consultations, today's presentation will be noticeably shorter as we're only consulting on the short section of the channel at Ferris Meadow Lake. We appreciate that these slides provide quite a high level view of the scheme, and more details on elements covered in the presentation can be found in the RTS supplementary consultation brochure which is available online, the options appraisal report, both of which are on the website. I'll now hand over to Stuart, who will be starting the presentation this evening.
Right, good evening everybody. So welcome, as Rebecca said, to the River Thames Scheme supplementary consultation virtual event. And so could we have the next slide then, please? Thank you. So the River Thames Scheme, it will reduce the risk of flooding to thousands of homes, businesses and vital infrastructure, while unlocking the economic, health and environmental benefits of the river between Egham and Teddington and respond to the challenges of climate change and nature recovery. The scheme is going to include a new flood channel in 2 sections that pass through the boroughs of Runnymede and Spelthorne in Surrey, and will also include bed lowering of the River Thames downstream of the Desborough Cut, and increases in capacity at Sunbury, Molesey and Teddington Weirs. The scheme will create new areas of green and blue open space with recreational facilities and a nature recovery network, and provide sustainable travel connections to link communities together. Through the duration of the River Thames Scheme, we have consulted and engaged with the public and stakeholders to ensure we understand the concerns and needs of the local community. There were over 2,500 responses to the statutory consultation that took place from January to March at the beginning of this year, and nearly 2,700 people attending in person and online events. One of the focal points of the statutory consultation was the alignment and impacts of the scheme at Ferris Meadow Lake. In our statutory consultation materials, we presented 7 options for the channel design at this location. Since statutory consultation, we've completed the detailed appraisal of those 7 options at Ferris Meadow, in addition to 2 further options included as a result of feedback received during the consultation. The appraisal's outcome has shown that option 1 performs best overall, and as such is the preferred option for the proposed scheme design at Ferris Meadow Lake. And we're now consulting to seek feedback on how we can develop the scheme design at Ferris Meadow Lake and on the Ferris Meadow Lake options appraisal report. With the next slide, please. The scheme goals. The River Thames Scheme is a forward-thinking response to climate change, community needs and economic development. The scheme will reduce flood risk to 11,000 homes and 1,600 businesses and infrastructure, enhancing the resilience of nationally important infrastructure, contributing to a vibrant local economy and maximising the social and environmental value of the river. The scheme goals are to reduce the risk of flooding for dwellings, businesses and infrastructure, improve access to quality green open spaces, connection with wildlife and more sustainable travel network, create a network of high quality habitat and achieve biodiversity gain, facilitate sustainable and inclusive economic growth, and enable delivery and design that contribute to Environment Agency, Surrey County Council and partner climate goals relating to carbon use. Next slide, please. This slide shows the full scheme overview, and you can see the Runnymede Channel section, which is nearly 3 miles long and will run from Egham Highs to Chertsey. Some of the key features from the scheme around this channel section include that it will begin to the north of Ferry Avenue, starting from an intake structure that will include a water level control gate on the west side of the River Thames. The Royal High's new green open space is proposed to the north of the channel at Egham Highs. The scheme proposes the Norlands Lane woodland area of habitat along the west of the channel, as it passes through the lake south of Green Lane, the lake south of Norlands Lane 1 and Fleet Lake. The channel will pass under Green Lane, Staines Road and the M3. A new blue open space known as Penton Park is being considered to the north of Abbey One Lake. A new wet meadow is proposed at Abbey Meads. The Spelthorne Channel section is almost 2 miles long and runs from Laleham to Weybridge. Some of the key features of this section of the channel include the intake to the channel will be on the east bank of the River Thames, north of the M3. A flood embankment will be created between Littleton North Lake and the Shepperton Industrial Estate. A section of approximately 600 metres of the Spelthorne Channel section at Sheepwalk has been realigned from the proposals at non-statutory consultation. The scheme proposes for a new area of habitat to be created to the north of the Shepperton Industrial Estate. A new underbridge will be created under the M3. The Sheepwalk New Green open space is proposed to the west of the channel to the south of the M3. A large area of open space and woodland habitat is proposed at the east of Sheepwalk at Manor Farm. An open area of space with woodland and grassland habitats and 2 raised landforms is proposed at the land south of Chertsey Road. Wetland areas and further areas of habitat creation are also proposed adjacent to the channel south of the M3. The channel will pass through existing lakes and under Thameside, Littleton Lane, the M3, Sheepwalk, Renfrey Way and Ferry Lane. Next slide, please. Thank you. The options appraisal. So the Ferris Meadow Lake options appraisal report examined the 7 options presented at statutory consultation. In addition to 2 further options included as a result of feedback received during statutory consultation. All options that were appraised provided a sufficient level of flood mitigation to make them viable to achieve the scheme's core requirement to reduce flooding in the area. This was determined by carrying out a hydraulic flood modelling for each option. The appraisal, which was carried out by a team of experienced RTS specialists, involved detailed consideration of each of the options against the following criteria: technical and feasibility appraisal, environmental design principles appraisal, planning policy and legislative appraisal, construction costs, and land costs. The findings of these assessments were used to determine the overall performance of each of the Ferris Meadow Lake options and inform the selection of the preferred option of the scheme. Next slide, please. The preferred option is based on our appraisal of the options at Ferris Meadow Lake and consideration of feedback received during the statutory consultation. Option 1 has been identified as the preferred option for the scheme. The Option 1 design would involve the Spelthorne Channel passing into Ferris Meadow Lake under a new bridge at Ferry Lane. The channel would pass through the lake before discharging into the River Thames via a flow control structure with a footbridge at the southern side of the lake. Next slide, please. So why is it the preferred option? We very much encourage you to read the options appraisal report for a detailed explanation of how we carried out the appraisal of all the options. What is on your screen right now is a very high-level explanation of it. So option 1 continues to allow for safe swimming in Ferris Meadow Lake. Option 1 performed best against the technical and feasibility appraisal and construction cost criteria. Option 1, along with option 7, which was the option that involved splitting the lake in 2, which was suggested during the statutory consultation, performed the best overall in the environmental appraisal. However, option 7 has a risk to biodiversity which could lead to non-compliance with the habitats regulations, meaning option 1 is preferred. Option 1 and option 7 performed the best in planning policy and legislative appraisal. However, option 7's potential non-compliance with the habitats regulations presents a significant risk for the scheme, whereas option 1 only presents minor challenges in relation to compliance with national and local planning policy. Option 1 performed very well with regards to the environmental design principles and the land cost appraisals. Next slide, please. So we would like your feedback. So, as before, if you're involved in the statutory consultation earlier on this year, please get involved and share your feedback. A supplementary consultation is running until the 7th of October, and your feedback is important to us in developing the scheme design that we submit in our application for the development consent. You can share your thoughts by completing our feedback form online, by post, or via email. Next slide, please. How to find out more, and we'll leave this slide up for a little bit so you can make any notes from it. Please also take note of the following ways in which you can find out more about the River Thames Scheme, as shown below on the screen.
Lovely.
Over to
Thanks,
you, Rebecca.
Joe. Slide, please. So we do have one more in-person event which is taking place in Shepperton Village Hall on the 28th of September. If you would like to come along and have a chat to someone and you've got any specific concerns that you want to speak to, please do come along. We'd love to have you there and love to try and answer any more questions that you've got. And there is another virtual event taking place on Tuesday, the 1st of October. And I think that is the end of our presentation. Does anyone have any questions at all that we can try and answer for you today? If you could just use the raise hand function. Any questions, anyone? No. Okay, well, like I say, we have got the other event on Saturday, 28th of September. If you do think of anything that you'd like to ask or you want to come and have a chat with one of us, please do come along and we'll be happy to help you. Alternatively, we've also got the inquiries inbox. If there's something that comes to you at a later point, just drop us an email and we can find out the answer to your question. And like I said, we do have the other virtual event as well on Tuesday, the 1st of October. And so that's all from us. Thank you very much for attending. We really, really appreciate it. Like I said, if you can provide any feedback, again, that does really, really help with the supplementary consultation. But yeah, thank you very much for coming. And I hope we might see you at one of the other events maybe. Thank you.